You may not think of yourself as a leader, but I think you should. Hey, I'm Matt, and let me explain why you're a leader. Because leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And you have influence in the lives of people and in certain circles of your life, don't you? If you're a parent, well, you lead your family. If you're a manager or supervisor or shift leader, you've got influence at work. If you're a teacher, you're a leader in the classroom. If you're a student, teammate, friend that others look to for direction, well, in that setting, you're a leader. You need to be aware of where you lead, and here's why. Because as Andy Stanley loves to say, influence or leadership, it's a stewardship, it's temporary, and you're accountable. Your influence is a stewardship. In other words, God gave it to you. He allowed you to be in the position you're in with the influence you have, and you're not going to have your influence forever, neither am I. It's not permanent, it's temporary. So you're accountable for what you do with it. You're accountable for how you use it in the brief time it's in your hands. Now, I realize for some of you, maybe that scares you a little bit. But you shouldn't be scared because God's going to help you with it. You can just embrace the responsibility of it because that's what it is. It's a gift, it's an opportunity, and it's a responsibility. So what do great leaders do? Well, in this series, I want to share with you 3 core responsibilities of every leader. And you can apply these at home with your family. You can apply them at work. You can apply them on your sports team in any circle where you have influence. So the first responsibility is a leader communicates a compelling vision. Now, a vision is simply a preferred picture of the future. It's a destination where you all want to end up together one day, whoever you're leading. Now, how do you discover your vision? Well, think of it like this. A vision is a picture of what could be, and it's fueled by the passion that it should be. If we want to think of this in terms of a family, if you are a parent, as a parent, you have a vision of what kind of family you hope to have, how your family relates to each other, what your family looks like as everyone gets older. So see, that's the picture of what could be. And when you find that picture of the future, gets you passionate, that you really care about it deeply, that you want that to happen, you feel like it should be and it must become true, well, that's when you know you found your vision. It's a picture of what could be, and it's fueled by this passion that it has to be, it should be, it's got to happen. Everybody needs a clear and compelling vision for their life, for their team, for their family, any group where they have influence. Because let's be honest, you're going to end up somewhere in the future, aren't you? So am I. But leaders make sure the team ends up somewhere on purpose. Teams without a clear, agreed upon vision, well, they never end up where they want to end up. So the first responsibility you have with your influence is to help those under your influence know where you're all going to go together. And to do that, you have to learn how to communicate your vision clearly. So, let me give you a few tips on how you can communicate well. First, sit down with whoever you have influence with and just define the problem, because every vision is a solution to a problem. The problem could be, hey, morale's really low at work. People just go through the motions. Nobody feels valued or purposeful in what they do. But leaders don't just see the problem. They talk about the problem with their team until everybody on the team feels the urgency to fix that problem. Till everybody's on the same page, we need to do something about this. So if you want to communicate a clear and compelling vision, you need to start with some conversations, not about where you want to go, but about where you are now, about the problem, about what's wrong. And then once you're confident there's some consensus that the problem needs to be fixed, that everybody sees it, well, then you can present a solution. And your solution is the vehicle that's going to help you achieve your vision. But again, a great leader doesn't just sit and figure this all out on their own. They discuss the solution with their team until everybody owns it, everybody weighs in on it, everybody understands it. And then the third thing you do as a leader is you communicate the urgency of why that solution has to be pursued now. In other words, you got to help everybody see why your team has to take action immediately to implement the solution and to start making that vision a reality. So let me go back to our family example, okay, because we all understand family. Here's a simple illustration of how this looks. The vision for your family could be that when your kids are old enough not to have to be with you anymore, that they still want to be with you. Well, there's a clear vision for the kind of relationship you want to have. The problem may be that right now, as a family, your schedules are so crazy that you actually don't get very much quality time together to invest in your relationships with each other. If you don't build those bonds, if you don't make those investments now, when your kids are younger, well, you won't have that kind of relationship you want later. That just makes sense. So the solution might be, okay, as a family, we need to prioritize 2 nights where we're going to be together every week. And on those nights, you all agree to say no to, good opportunities that may interfere with your family time, and you're going to protect them for each other. And the reason you got to start this now is because every week you miss as a family is a week you never get back in investing in your relationships with each other, right? You can't make up for the time you missed. Matter of fact, and you know this, the older the kids get, the harder it's going to be to build those relationships. So there's your problem, your solution, and why it needs to be pursued now. As a leader, somebody with influence, when you and your team are clear on where you're trying to go, why you're trying to get there, well, you've cleared the first hurdle of leading well. You've communicated a clear and compelling vision. And then once you've done that, it is time to create a system that's going to help you stay on track to seeing the vision come true. And I'm going to explain to you how to do that in session 2.